Been a while, man. Back outside, man. I hurt my back this week. Trying to work out. I hurt my back. Had to lay down for a couple days. When you become 44, man, you can't just go out and do things like you used to. You can't just sling that weight like you used to. You got to get out there and stretch first. So I ain't stretched, man. My body let me know immediately that I had made a mistake. So these are the breaks. My back still feels some type of way, man, but we got to do what we got to do. Anyway, as I was praying, man, last night, or it was the other night. You know, I done just became father, like a father of my own child. Like I've had godchildren, I had stepchildren. This is my first child for me. And as I was in my prayer, man, I was just like, hey, God, I want to see my child walk across the stage, man. I want to see my child graduate. I want to be here to walk my child across the aisle, man. Walk my child down the aisle. I want to be able to do these things. And the word came to my head, perseverance. And perseverance is doing something with, is doing something with delayed gratification. Is getting through something without like immediate success. Like it's the delayed success. Still getting through something, getting through a time in your life, getting through unsuccessful relationships, getting through businesses closing down, getting through, persevering through it all. And so when I was saying these things, I think the word came to my head like, I have to protect my health. I have to also protect my sanity. I want to be here to see my daughter get married, see her become, graduate school and all of this other stuff. I have to be here for that. So that means I have to protect my health. I have to protect my sanity to be here for things like that. And so for you, man, I know people be going through things out here, man, and they be thinking that these things going to be going on always, but it's just the time. It's the time. We have to persevere, man. If we are Christians and we call to follow in the ways of Jesus Christ, man, Jesus did not have it easy. Yahshua HaMashiach did not have it easy coming through these lands. And if he didn't have it easy, what makes you think you would have it easy? He had to persevere through some things. I was talking to my wife about a story in the Bible from Jesus when he went back to Galilee, and there was a man in the graveyard. And he had been there, he had been tormented for years. And tormenting came through that graveyard. And when he saw Jesus, he ran up to Jesus. He said, "Don't torment me." And that made me think, man, I had to go back to something. And I said, why would this man ask Jesus not to torment him? Because it wasn't the man that was telling Jesus not to torment him. It was the devils inside of him that said, "Don't torment me." And Jesus told the man, or Jesus told the demons, because the demons, they know the game too. The demons asked to go inside of the pigs. And then the pigs ran off a cliff and people asked Jesus to leave. Jesus had to persevere through some things. And you and we as humans, we have to do the same thing as well. It's going to be trials and tribulations in your life, man. I went on like a 15-year stretch, man, where I lost my sister, cousin, uncle, all these people just losing them back to back. Boom, 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 boom. I'm talking about I almost totally lost my way, man. I almost totally lost my way, almost totally lost my mind. When I was at war for 6.5 years in Iraq and Afghanistan, I almost lost my damn mind. I had to come back home and regather myself. I went through a lot of depression, man, a lot of drunken nights, a lot of things like that, man, I had to persevere, man. I had to know that it was something on the other side better for me. So when you're going through, you have to go through with the confidence to know that everything is going to be all right at the end. This is why people commit suicide, man, because they don't think that there's anything better on the other side. And these are the people that I want to help, man. I told God I want to be the leader of men. I want when men see me, they say, man, that guy persevered through some things. I want to be like him. And so I be working, man. I be going through things. And I be battling with it on my own, man, because if I can get through it on my own, I can build myself up. I can build myself up. Then I can help others. I can learn how to get through these things on my own using the words and the actions of Jesus Christ. I can work through it myself and learn how to teach others spiritually. Not just through the physical, saying, okay, we'll go ahead and work out and do this. No. We're going to do this thing spiritually. And when you work things out in your spirit, man, you get your spirit man right. Man, you can persevere through anything. The spiritual man see all things. Physical man can only see physical things. Perseverance is a very good trait to have, man. It's a lot of people that be out here struggling. It's a lot of times in my marriage, man, I just didn't have the money for certain things. And I had to tell my wife, man, I ain't got it. I don't got it. I'm sorry. I don't have it. What we gonna do? And I had to trust that she was gonna say, hey, if you don't got it, we got it. I had to expose myself to my wife, man. And this has been a common thing in my marriage, man, to say, man, I just don't have it. Like, I don't have the energy to do things sometimes. I just be like, look, I don't got it today. And she say, hey, well, if you ain't got it today, then I got to pick it up. What's going on, bro? We have to learn these things, man. They don't come overnight. Learning to be an adult is a full-time job. You got to learn to be an adult. Just because you grow in age don't mean you an adult. Just because you 29 years old, just because you 40 years old, to me don't mean you an adult. If you're not growing, that don't mean you're an adult because you just got some age on you. If you're not learning with wisdom, if wisdom don't come with your age, I don't consider you an adult. You're just somebody that's growing old. But we got to teach people how to persevere through things, man. And you do it by your personal actions. Your personal actions. You teach your children how to persevere through things through your personal actions. Like, if you made some bad dating choices in your life, you can teach that to your children. Say, hey, man, I made these bad decisions in my life, and they cost me. And I don't want that to happen to you. But I persevered through these things. There's a lot of women that have got out of bad relationships. You know how hard it is to get out of a bad relationship? Where you getting beat on and dudes just beating on your soul and beating on your spirit, beating on your body. I be encouraged by women who leave out of bad relationships because it's hard. But we all persevere through things, man. There's millions and millions of stories of people through time that have persevered, got through, achieved success, even though it was delayed. Man, I'm a business owner. You know how many times I want to quit my business? Do you know how many times I wanted to quit and say, man, I don't want to do this no more. I'm just going to get a job. And that voice in my head say, nope, this is going to be one that set your family free. This is going to be the one. If you just keep going, man, if you just keep going, this is going to be the business that set your family free, your whole family. And when I went to God, he promised me something. I say, man, I want to set my family free. I want to set our name right. A whole bunch of grandfathers that died early. One of my grandfathers died in his 40s. The other died when he was 60, early 60s. So my uncles and my aunts that I'm here today, they didn't get a lot of training from their fathers, they fathers. And I didn't even get to see my grandfathers. One of my grandfather, man, the only memory I have of him, because he was an alcoholic, the only memory I have of him is he got out of jail. He got out of jail. He came to my sister's basketball game. My sister's really good at basketball. And he came to my sister's basketball game. I don't remember looking at him at the game. But when we got into my dad's truck, I was in the back seat. And all I can remember is the back of his head. He had that George Jefferson. He had that little hole at the top, just like I got. That's all I remember of my grandfather. He died a couple months after that. And I don't think I went to the funeral because I didn't build a relationship with him. But I'd just be thinking like, man, if I'd have got to know that man, I probably could have learned a lot about myself through knowing him, good and bad. My other grandfather, he died when my mom was 7 years old. So I never got to meet him. So it's a lot of training. It's a lot of things that we missed along the way. And so if I want to continue living, if I want to persevere and live a long life, I have to take care of my health, man. That's why I be out here on these walks. I want to live a long life. I want to live a long life, man. I just watched my daughter be born. Man, I'm 44 years old, became a father for the first time. And I want to see my daughter, man. I want to see somebody love on my daughter and say, man, I want to marry you and walk her down the aisle. I want to walk my daughter down the aisle. If I want to accomplish that, I have to be in some type of health to get there because I know we got some interesting times ahead. So I'm going to have to keep my body together, but I'm also going to have to keep my mind together. Learn from the mistakes I made in the past, man, to persevere and move on. Help others. It ain't no greater way to serve God's kingdom than to help others, than to serve. Being of service to someone. Just giving y'all some examples, man, of how to persevere, man, and move on to the next stage in your life, man. Like being a business owner, man, is one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life. Like you go through so many emotions, man, because you start with this thing in your mind, say, man, we're gonna make $1 billion. And then you start reasoning with yourself and say, no, we can do this. This is the actual amount that we can actually make off this. This is what we can do. You have to start reasoning with yourself, man. You have to come down off your high horse, man, when it becomes real, and you have to start saying, okay, making $1 billion is really hard, man. Even getting to your first $100,000 is hard. So you got to start reasoning with yourself and be a realistic person about your dreams. Now, if my kids pick up this dream and run with it, that's how we make that money. Maybe my kids take this business to $1 billion business. But for me, I got limitations. But it's all in stride, man. I done persevered through so much in my life, man, and I feel that this is going to be building me up to be the leader of men, to help men become who they need to be in the future. I believe men are going to have to be different in the future. We're going into the time of women, and we're going to have to learn how to deal with these women, especially women who done went through so much hurt, and now they got power with that hurt. And so we're going to have to be different with these women. And I feel I'm going to show men how to be different with a woman. I'm going to save marriages. I'm going to save men's lives. It's going to be men who going to be gay, and they going to talk to me, and we're going to help them be straight again. We're going to help them realize where they got off track. That's my hope and my prayer, that I can save men. We can usher in a new generation of strong men that serve God in the right way. These be my hopes and my prayers for my people, man.